So I think we are
Yes.
ready to get started. And as I mentioned, our new friend Paul has volunteered to do a screen recording for us today since our usual recorders are not available. And we'd like to have a record of this event. Um, but welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Woohoo!
Yes, great as always to see you here at XR Women on Wednesday, June 28th with our special guest, Yolanda Barton. We're excited to hear from her. Before we go any further, we'd like to thank our sponsors and supporters. First and foremost, the Immersive Learning Research, who provides this space for us here in XR Women Hall to hold our weekly events. They've been doing so since November of 2020. So a long time, a really generous offer of support. We're totally grateful for that. I will say that iLearn is going to be using this campus only for larger events moving forward from the end of next month. So we will not be having our events here after July 12th. Now, next week, we're going to have a break, which we do try to take every quarter to give those of us who organize these things a little bit of time off. And then on the 12th, we'll be back here with Dr. Jacqueline Hall. More about that later. And then on July 19th, we will have our first event in the Engage platform. So we're excited about that. And yes, we've set up a channel in Slack called Engage Resources for those of you who are new to Engage and want to learn how to operate in there. So I'm going to go back a bit. Somehow the slides jumped forward. We also are grateful to Frame for hosting our XR Women Museum, framevr.io/XR Women Museum. And Virbela is kind of the connection there because this iLearn campus is on the Virbela platform and Virbela owns Frame. So just a few notes before we begin. Please do mute yourself unless you are speaking. You will have the opportunity to ask questions during our events, and we are recording as noted previously. So if one of my colleagues would be willing to drop in a link to our Slack, we'd love for you to join us there and take part in discussions in the various channels and also to give you access to the Engage resources I mentioned previously. I'm going to quickly type in, and apologies for the typing noise. The XR Women Museum you can visit to see a record of all the events we have had. At this point, like well over 130, maybe even approaching 150. I've got to do another accounting of that, but it's a lot, believe me, and we're super proud of that. And you can see that there. And we'd also love for you to support us by buying some XR Women merch. So again, if one of my colleagues has that link handy, if you can drop it in. If not, I'll find it again later. So we had our awards ceremony earlier this month at the Augmented World Expo, and we were super thrilled to present the Trailblazer Award to Athena Demos, the Award for Innovation to Deirdre Lyons, who is here with us today. So congrats again, Deirdre. And Paige Dansinger, who's here as Better World VR for real world impact. So really thrilled to have these stellar members of our community, stellar women in XR as members of our community here today, as we are for all of you who make this group what it is. So before I go to any opening it up for any news, we have some new people here today. And so I'd like to invite those of you who are new to unmute your mic and introduce yourself. So maybe Angela, I know, is new, and I see some others. Who would like to start?
Well, I guess I'll start. Yes, my name officially is Dr. Paul Jackson. I got a PhD in computer engineering in 1998 from Texas A&M University. I'm not a Texan. I was born in Philadelphia. Anyway, I live in Tacoma, Washington now, and I've taken my engineering skills and turned myself into an artist. Not an activist or an artist, but an artist. So I've collected over like 600 videos in the last 20 years, and so even the Tacoma Library had asked me to donate some of my videos to their archive. Um, Even though I got a PhD in computer engineering, I'm still dabbling in the whole XR thing. And so I'm really sad that they killed Metaverse. So that's Apple. I mean, that's Microsoft. So I won't get on my political rant or whatever, but yeah, I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to hearing Yolanda. And I'll pass the hat.
Great, fantastic. Thank you, Paul, and welcome. And we appreciate you recording this event for us today. Okay, who else is here for the first time?
Been here second time.
Okay, Cassie, if you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself before, please do so now.
Well, I went when Nova was here. I guess everyone was also in California.
Oh, right. Okay, when we were at the AWE conference. Yes, well, go ahead since most of us have not met you then.
Well, I'm Cassie Hartsink. I graduated from Conestoga for animation program, and I like drawing. And I like doing a bunch of stuff, and I found this. So here I am.
That's great. Welcome.
Welcome,
Awesome.
Cassie.
So who else? Again, I know I earlier met Angela and Gabriella. So they're here for the first time. Possibly Mandy might be here for the first time as well. So we've got a few more to go through.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm Gabriella Zilke. I'm CEO of a company called Back to Space. We do immersive mixed reality experiences that are all space-based. So they all leave from our moon port.
Wow, that is super cool. I'd love to hear more about that. Amazing. Okay, who's next?
My
Angela?
first time here.
Your first time here, Lacey. No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, so Angela does not seem to be able to unmute to introduce herself. Who else? Should we say Mandy? Mandy, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Mandy Canales. I'm a Seattle-based VR theater practitioner and teaching artist. And I currently teach at the VR Dance Academy and VR Chat. I teach improv and physical comedy.
Awesome.
I love that. I love that. I would like there to be a day when actually improv is embedded in like K through whatever education. I think it's the greatest. Yay, kudos to you.
Yeah, great. So once again, I'll see if Angela's able to introduce herself. Oh, and Johanna, is this your first time here? If so, please unmute and introduce yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, I'm Joanna Robinson. I'm part of the XR team. Hi, Yolanda. I made it.
Yeah, you're okay. Okay, great. Anything else you want us to know about you? You'd like to introduce to the group?
I'm a startup founder and sort of tech nerd, and not my first time in Verbella, but it's been like maybe a few years since I've used it. I think it's a San Diego startup.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so we used it for Startup San Diego, and it looks totally different now, and it's kind of cool to see all the changes.
Yeah, that's great. All right, welcome to all you new folks. I am going to, since in the interest of time, I think I'm going to skip this XR news since we had so many new people. Oh, but I see that Trish has her hand up. Trish, hello.
Hi, I just want to make an announcement. I'm giving away an NFT to XR Women today. So I put some instructions. You follow me on Instagram and go to my spatial art gallery and follow me there. and love my gallery, and then DM me and Instagram, and I'll send you the NFT if you DM me your Ethereum wallet address.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Trish. That is awesome.
You're
So
welcome,
much
everyone.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarah, I think that link is for spatial and at
Yeah, when you
Trish Gia Art. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you go in spatial, you'll see the NFT has the announcement, um, which NFT has a podium under it with the instructions too.
That is so cool. Thank you. Thank you very much, Trish. That's awesome.
You're
Amazing.
welcome, everyone.
So I mentioned before that we're going to be moving to Engage, and we do have a channel on our Slack called Engage Resources, which will help those of you who are new to Engage. If you haven't already signed up for your account, I encourage you to do so right now. You know, open up a separate tab or window and go ahead and create your account on their web app so that you'll have it there when you go to sign in on a headset if you choose to enter in that way, just to make it a bit easier and to start familiarizing yourself with the platform if you haven't spent time in Engage before. We're excited about it because it offers a lot of possibilities, but we also still want to meet in other platforms, including Frame. And I'm hoping that Vanessa will maybe host us in croquet at some point. I'll reach out to you about that, Vanessa. But we hope that you will. Yeah, so here's some inspiration. Women of the future, women who are working in tech who have been highlighted. This is really great. You'll see a lot of our community members here if you look closely. And by the way, if you look at the top of your screen, you can zoom in. You see the screen zoom. You can zoom in on any of the three screens up here. So there you go. Awesome. Oh, okay, great. Sarah, you've been working in Engage for about 6 months. Cool. Yes, let's talk. All right. So AI is all in the news today. It's what everyone is talking about. Julie is currently attending the Collision Conference in Toronto, which is a massive tech event. And she says it's everything AI everywhere. So this is the flavor of 2023. AI is the flavor. We think it's all going to come back together and meet up with XR, metaverse, blockchain, all the things. We'll even toss in robotics there. But does anyone want to share anything about how they are using AI, if they are?
I want to for sure.
Okay, Lisi, go
I
for
put my hand up. I put my hand up.
it. Okay.
A month ago, I want to say, yeah, about a month ago, I decided to tinker with it to do a press release. And I don't know if I mentioned it here, but I'm still flabbergasted. And I'm just doing the same thing for another client now. But I was flabbergasted then. And I probably shared it with you guys, but I'm going to do it again since the topic of conversation is this. I released a press release with the help of AI, and it was the most successful press release in 8 years, picked up by Bloomberg, AP, Yahoo Finance, like outlets and media outreach that had ignored me in the past picked up the press release. And it's all because the AI knows how to talk to AI, and it is amazing the communication tool that is available. So that is my tidbit. And just like you said, it all will come back around, but now is the time for you to find what it means to you and to your business and all that hoopla. So here AI.
Wow, that's amazing, Lacey. Really interesting stuff. Okay, I see Helen has her hand up as well.
Yeah, I have to admit, thank you, Karen. I have to admit I was very resistant to it at first, especially as an author. quite freaked out. I was like, what's going to happen to my work? And I was didn't want to use it. My husband Ben, who some of you know, kept saying, you got to try this, you got to try this, nah. And then I thought, let me just have it check this one sentence, because I'm working on my new book that's hopefully going to come out or it's coming out in October. So I'm doing the last tweaks. And it's set in Sweden in the 17th century and the 18th century. So a lot of history. And it's set in Sweden. I'm writing in English. So I can have it check sentences if I feel they're awkward. And usually it comes back not with a sentence that I want to use, but things in it that makes me realize, oh yeah, if I just tweak it like this, I can use this and that. But for research, the other day I was asking it, because it's very complicated, but I was asking, so in Sweden at that time had changed from Catholicism to Lutheranism. And in English, priests are Hindu priests or Catholic priests. And I didn't want to use the word, I didn't really like parson anymore that I used for my in my other book for priests in Lutheran congregations. So I asked it and I said, so you can give me answers in Swedish and in English. And can you just please tell me which word is best? And ba-boom, 1 second. And the other day I asked about tobacco, which was called drinking tobacco. Same thing. They said smoking was called drinking tobacco. I asked it in both Swedish and English. Can you just double check this fact? And boom, 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 in 1 second. It's amazing. It's like having an editor and a researcher as my fingerprints in 2 languages in seconds. Insane.
Wow,
And
that's amazing, Helen. That's
Yeah.
really amazing. Yeah, let's have let's quickly have comments. I'm getting concerned about the time here for a presentation, but let's move on. Sarah had her hand up, and then Trish again. So if you all can share briefly, and the rest of you too. Let's we can also carry on this conversation in the Slack. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Karen. Yeah, just really quickly, this is going in my dissertation as part of a digital ethics training. One of the things I like to do with AI is to kind of get into the Socratic method with it, get into arguments with it, ask really hard questions to see how it responds. So what I'll be doing is I'll be doing that with my students, and then their assignment will be to challenge it, to go research it, make sure it's correct. And if they think that there's something not quite right, why not? Then they have to do the research to tell us why not.
Yeah, good point, right? So don't prohibit it, but make sure that it's being used critically. Yeah, great.
That's right.
Yeah, Trish. Or did you still have your hand up from your previous comment about the NFTs?
No, I thank you so much for letting me talk again. The NFT I'm giving away, I used AI, and I also used other programs, brought it into Blender to make it a 3D animated object. And I've been using AI since 2021. At first, when I first started using it, I felt guilty, like, oh my gosh, this feels so wrong. But the more I started using more advanced programs, like I use Midjourney, I'm a beta developer for Runway's 3D AI, and I'm using Stable Diffusion for video and AI as well. So I'm using several programs, but I'm having fun with it. I change it after AI generates the artwork. I change it so it's mine. The prompts are mine. The visualization is mine. I refer to my own artwork, so the way I'm using it, I feel like it's the art that's being produced is truly mine.
That's great. Yeah. And it's really exciting to hear from all of you all and see the comments in the chat, all the different ways that you're using this technology. That's fantastic. Of course, we would expect that from XR women. Okay, so we talked earlier about the convergence of internet, blockchain, XR, AI, all the things coming together, all converging. It is happening. It will continue to happen. Just a few upcoming events. Right now, the iLearn conference in San Luis Obispo is going on. Tomorrow's the last day. We hope it's going well there, and we'll look forward to hearing from reports. As mentioned before, Collision is happening in Toronto. AWE Asia is at the end of August. It would be really cool to hear a report from there. If you know anyone who's going, or if you're going, please let us know so we can try to get some info about what happens there. And in October, there is the Immerse Global Summit in Orlando, and more after that. We'll continue posting these events, and please share them with others. There's a highlights events channel in our Slack as well. So, okay, oops, skipped ahead a little too quickly there. I do not have a slide up here saying that we are on vacation next week. I personally am on vacation, but XR Women is taking a break. There will not be an event here next week. If you would like to come in and just gather informally here in XR Women Hall and have a conversation with others during this time, please feel free to do that, but we will not be holding any kind of a formal event, and you'd be kind of, just on your own to converse. Then on July 12th, we will have Dr. Jacqueline Hall, who's going to be speaking about revolutionizing healthcare with XR. Looking forward to that. Then our first event in Engage will be with Celeste Lear, also known as DJ Celeste, and that's going to be super exciting. Looking forward to our first event in Engage. I do see, is that Angela who has her hand up now? I think she left and came back.
Hi, yes, can you all hear me now?
Yes.
I was having technical difficulties. My apologies there. I just wanted to introduce, I know I missed the round of intros. I'm real excited to introduce Revere XR to all of you amazing women today. But a quick background on myself. I'm entrepreneurial and marketing background. In 2015, I founded a boutique marketing agency out of New York. And by 2016, it was mostly blockchain clients, about, I'd say 85% of my portfolio at that time. So I was marketing, advising, and fundraising for all types of projects utilizing blockchain technology. And in 2020, I started working with a DeFi launchpad, a decentralized finance launchpad, where I became the chief officer in 2021, as well as partner in the venture capital arm that we spawned off from investing in the startups that we launched on the pad. A couple months ago, I decided to go back on my own and advise projects directly, helping them with go-to-market strategy, partnerships, marketing, and fundraising. And now I am the Chief Marketing Officer at Revere XR. Happy to be here today.
Fantastic. Glad to have you here. Welcome. All right, let's get back to this. Yes, we're going to also have Vinci talking about building a musical universe. Very exciting presentation, and looking forward to that one. And now we come to today's event. We are very pleased to have Yolanda Barton here today, and my colleague Trisha Blake will introduce her. Welcome, Yolanda, and take it away, Trisha.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Is my mic working? All right. Welcome. Great day, everyone. So excited to see that there are 28 users in the XR Women Hall. It is a great day to have a great day. So I guess a couple things for me, just really quick, knowing that Yolanda, I reached out to Yolanda. I was joking with her yesterday. I was like, I don't know if you remember, but I jumped into your DMs like in January because I saw this article. I think Amy Lemaire had written about her as it related to preserving legacies and storytelling. And before I guess, as we're talking about storytellers and legacies and things like that, I wanted to take a very quick opportunity to just acknowledge the land that I am on. I'm in Toronto, Canada. And so it is National Indigenous Peoples Month here, and we acknowledge the land we're meeting on as the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. We all have you know what I mean, a unique connection to the land, whether we're in virtual reality or, you know what I mean, in real life. So it's just important for me today in my spirit. I'm like, I feel like saying this. You know, to share that with you all. And I also want to take the opportunity to read as we're going to talk about, you know, like stories and different things like that. I want to take the opportunity to read the African Ancestral Acknowledgement. And again, being where I am from, the city of Toronto acknowledges all treaty peoples, including those who came here as displanted peoples in this generation or in generations past, and those of us who came here involuntarily, particularly those brought to these lands as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery. We pay tribute to those ancestors of African origin and descent. And so, you know, with that, like, I just want to open up the space to share that energy, because we have Yolanda Barton, who is the founder and CEO of Rivera XR, an interactive storytelling company that utilizes extended reality, XR, AR, VR, AI, mixed reality to recreate history's most priceless moments and bring them to life for all to experience. Rivera XR is delivering futuristic interactive experiences that enhance human connection and captivate global diverse audiences. Yolanda's created the concept of XR preservation while in grad school, where she earned 2 master's degrees collecting history and working with community to design experiences that promote storytelling and oral tradition. Yolanda has hosted numerous events and focused design groups to introduce communities with little access to technology to XR. She was even invited to speak at Oculus about her vision for XR, joined the Oculus Launchpad, built a prototype, and was recently named the top 100 women of the future, and has recently been on the cover of GeekWire for her XR preservation work. By pioneering XR preservation, Yolanda is dedicated to changing the way the world views, accesses, and experiences history, art, and culture. Please join me in giving Yolanda Barton a warm XR Women welcome. Yolanda.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Great intro.
Super impressive, yeah.
Wow, Trisha, I'm taking you on the road with me. That was amazing. That was the perfect energy that I needed. Thank you so much. And excuse me while I'm getting all these controllers together, you guys. But it's so nice to be with you all today. I'm loving everyone's avatars. I love seeing what you're wearing. We should just have a fashion show one day. I'm here for it. But ultimately, I was called for a purpose. So I want to thank you for joining me as I delve into the world of unapologetic tech and how I define it. So I stand before you today with this really burning passion and unwavering belief in the power of technology and how it can shape a more inclusive future. So this vision has been forged like through my personal experiences and the understanding that we need to break away from the shackles of apologies and embrace our true potential. So I want to thank you for inviting me to share my excitement and my passion and my vision with you today. So I know we're here to talk unapologetic tech, but I have to confess, I have not always been unapologetic. In my youth, I found myself habitually uttering apologies, even for things like beyond my control. And it was as if I was apologizing and it was like a reflex ingrained in my very being. So I would apologize for everyone's misfortune. I would apologize for everyone's discomfort and not understanding fully or simply just expressing being myself. So I was just constantly uttering, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry you didn't understand me," or "I'm sorry, would you repeat that?" Or "I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand." It was just a habit that I really needed to shake off. And then my father imparted some really valuable wisdom to me. And he said, "If you didn't cause harm, you don't have a reason to apologize." And those words really resonated with me deeply, urging me to save my damn apologies, situations that truly warranted them. And I realized that I should never be apologizing for just simply being myself. So as I journeyed through school, I had the opportunity to attend private schools. And in my neck of the woods in the Northwest, that often meant you were the only person of color in the classroom. the experience was isolating, and there were a lot of uncomfortable situations, conversations, and even assumptions that are constantly being thrown at you. I found myself in that space apologizing for my differences, for the discomfort others felt in response to my presence. And it was as if I needed to ask for their forgiveness for merely just existing. These experiences really led me to question my own sense of belonging in those spaces, but they also ignited a fire within me. I realized that I should never apologize for the richness and diversity that I bring to the table. And this came up again in my corporate career. I found myself tirelessly in executive leadership positions and supporting global chairmen, carrying tremendous workloads of like 70 to 80 hours per week. And I was a single mother with two small girls. So I often had to apologize for needing to leave after 7 at night sometimes, for needing to prioritize my family, for needing to set boundaries for my well-being. And guilt really consumed me in those spaces because I felt like that meant I didn't fit the mold and I wasn't delivering what they expected of me. I apologized to after school care for being the last parent to pick their kid up often. I apologized for not being a part of the PTA and being more involved in the bake sales and the moms who were baking for the students. I mean, the theme of apologies has persisted throughout my journey, leaving me feel like I didn't fit into any predetermined boxes that others wanted me to occupy. But I can tell you today, no more. After many years, I transitioned from corporate. I returned to my hometown for a double master's program, as Tricia mentioned, in communication leadership at the University of Washington. And I was faced again with a profound realization with not feeling like I belonged. I witnessed the erasure of my community's history, a neighborhood called the Central District of Seattle, once filled with magical moments. We're talking Quincy Jones at 15 playing at the piano with Ray Charles. We're talking Ernestine Anderson, Ruby Bishop, Kurt Cobain. I mean, the list seriously is never ending. And those memories were paved over and forgotten. I was determined to honor this geographic space and the profound stories, and I turned to emerging technology. And that's where I found my solution. I birthed a concept of XR preservation. Let's discover the power of virtual and augmented reality and its ability to preserve history and make it accessible for everyone to experience. And that became my solution. My vision for unapologetic tech was born out of a response to the gentrification that erased the Central District of Seattle, my community, the only Black historic community in Seattle. And this community had given birth to, like I said, world-renowned musicians like Jimmy, Kurt Cobain, Quincy Jones, and I just believed that technology could bridge that gap from the past to the future and ensure that that rich culture and heritage was not lost nor forgotten. So in that space, once again, I found myself as the only person of color, and now one of the few women also attempting to create a solution in an industry where I lacked technical expertise. So instead of apologizing for what others couldn't see, I took my father's wisdom to heart, and I began to see my differences as strengths. So my unique lived experiences, my audacious ideas, my unwavering belief in my vision gave me the confidence to share my perspective and introduce something new to the tech world. Turning point for me came when I spoke at Oculus's headquarters and was invited into Oculus launchpads because doubts once again were knocking at the door of my mind and made me question my abilities. I'm surrounded by individuals who are well-versed in the language, in the tools, in the software, in this world. And I didn't just feel like an outsider. I was the outsider. I was the other, constantly apologizing for what I didn't know and struggling to communicate the importance of preserving community stories. So I faced opposition. Industry leaders told me that my vision didn't align with what tech was meant to do. Those were their words, what tech was meant to do. They urged me to shift my focus. They advised me to create a game instead. But I stood firm in my belief. refusing to apologize or abandon my original concept. The determination and stubbornness for my Caribbean ancestry led me to build a team that would bring my vision to life. So my unapologetic journey has not only garnered recognition, but it's created opportunities for those who don't traditionally come from tech backgrounds. And by bringing tech into underrepresented communities, we're going to empower individuals to explore their creativity and provide unique, one-of-a-kind insights. I'm on a mission, y'all, to bridge the gap between tech and communities, showing the industry we can achieve what we can achieve when we have the tools and the opportunities. Imagine the possibilities. If tech companies actively sought the input and expertise of our communities, I mean, my community sets trends in music, in storytelling, in culture, in art, in film, and more. Non-tech communities, diverse communities, possess immense creative potential waiting to be unleashed. It's essential for the tech industry to involve these communities in shaping the future. Today, I invite you to join me in embracing this philosophy of unapologetic tech. Our greatest opportunities to shape the future really do reside in our ability to tap into non-tech unapologetic communities. So let's challenge the status quo. Let's celebrate our differences. Let's advocate for inclusion and diverse perspectives. And let's reshape the narrative of technology, ensuring that it becomes a force for positive change and empowerment for all. That's unapologetic. And birthed from this vision of unapologetic tech today, I stand before you as a top 100 women of the future, winner of Oculus Launchpad, speaker, creator, collaborator of the future, and proud founder and CEO of Revere XR, company driven by the noble mission of XR preservation. And our goal is to utilize the power of interactive storytelling to recreate moments in history that have become inaccessible. I mean, we live in an era where history is confined to archives and storage clouds and fading away from our grasp with each passing day. Valuable artifacts and geographic spaces that once housed the essence of our past are being paved over, erasing the footprints of those who came before us. But we possess the power to change this narrative. We
Excuse
possess the
me,
power.
Yolanda, I really apologize for interrupting your beautiful speech, but I am not seeing your slides on the screen. Have you, are you seeing them for yourself? Are they?
I am.
Okay. Are others in the audience seeing her slides?
No, unfortunately, I don't see them.
I'm
Okay.
seeing XR woman.
Yeah. Okay.
Checkerboard. So
Let's see. Let me come up and see if I can pull them up and so that others can see them. Sorry.
I'm gonna unshare and then share again, and let's see if that works.
In the presentation tool. Okay.
Yay.
Yes.
Oh, you
Yeah.
guys
Now,
see them?
now I see them.
Okay, great.
Interesting. It's not on mine, but if you guys can see it, that's great. I'll get you guys all caught up. I apologize you missed the slides.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
I apologize for interrupting.
No, I appreciate that. There were accompanying slides, and I'm happy to show them to you guys.
yes, thank you for that.
Okay, so we'll start from Revere XR. Our goal is to utilize the power of interactive storytelling to create moments in history that have become inaccessible over time. We live in an era where moments in history have become inaccessible, and they're in archives and clouds, fading away from our grasp with each passing day. Valuable artifacts and geographic spaces that once housed the essence of our past are being paved over and erasing the footprints of those who came before us. But we possess the power to change this narrative, and we possess the power to preserve and make history accessible for both current and future generations. So I want you to close your eyes for a moment and envision a world where you can teleport to any moment in time. I was too young to attend in person, but if I had my pick, maybe Prince at Paisley Park or Bob Marley at the Roxbury, or how about the Beatles at Liverpool? Those are definitely in my top 5. Imagine strolling through a historic neighborhood alongside a 98-year-old storyteller as he shares oral tradition stories, walks you through historic landmarks, and teaches you the history of his neighborhood. How would you like to attend a holographic Jimi Hendrix concert with friends? Or maybe sit in an immersive theater and watch documentary style content that transports you to pivotal moments in history. I mean, instead of our children engaging in just games, sometimes centered around killing zombies, what if they could explore the Louvre or wander the streets of New Orleans or experience a Revolutionary War front row seat? This is the future of family time, of date night, of innovation in the classroom. It's the future of us experiencing living history. And Revere XR presents the unique opportunity, a chance to preserve that history and carry it forward into the future. So we craft unforgettable XR experiences that combine music, XR technology, culture, art, historic spaces. Our vision is to be at front center of this movement, capturing the hearts and minds of those who crave cultural and historic experiences. XR Preservations holds the power to reintroduce elders, their own history, and introduce current and future generations to the rich tapestry of stories. It is through this medium that we inspire, educate, entertain, and amplify art, history, and culture. Through XR preservation, we have the ability to change the world and leave something spectacular behind for future generations. We're paving the way for human connection in technology by recreating history's most priceless moments, inspiring and guiding future generations. And I extend an invitation, each and every one of you, to join me on this unapologetic journey. Preserve the past for the future. So let's embrace our collective responsibility to protect our heritage, allowing it to guide us as we forge ahead. But I'd also like for us to consider embracing our unapologetic journey to create a legacy that will stand the test of time. I urge you to shed the weight of apologies and embrace the essence of being unapologetic. It means fully embracing your unique genius, refusing to confine yourself to societal norms and expectations. It means unleashing your wild and audacious ideas without hesitation and refusing to apologize for the qualities that make you different. Let's teach future generations of young girls to embrace their individuality and let it shine boldly. For it is through our differences that we bring forth innovation, creativity, and change. So today, let's leave behind any apologies and step into the power of unapologetically being yourself. Thank you so much.
Woo! Where's my the clapping feature? I'm trying to scroll. My God. Wow.
Good job, Yolanda.
Hearts, 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 hearts.
Thank you, you
Thank
guys, so much.
you. That was amazing. Like, can I get a first class ticket on this unapologetic journey? Like, what do I have to do here? Because I'm hyped. I was just hyped
That's
listening
amazing.
to you share and talk about this. Um, we have some time so that we have still a lot of people in the hall. So if there are any questions, what we'll do is we'll open it up for questions. If you're more comfortable typing your question in the chat, or feel free to raise your hand, and I will, direct and say, okay, it's your turn to ask Yolanda any questions. So that's what we're going to do right now. And the first hand that I did see up was Sarah Barker. So Sarah, the floor is yours to ask Yolanda a question.
Thank you, Trisha. Thank you so much, Yolanda. That was very powerful. Um, I you kind of made me think about the space that I just created in Spatial for my place where I meditate because I'm Buddhist. And what I want to ask is, in your opinion, what can I do in terms of adding Sketchfab IFX to make it feel more welcoming to anybody, multiculturally, that anybody might feel welcome to sit with me there?
Well, as a fellow meditator, I would say that a lot of multicultural communities already house this ancient practice and are a lot more welcoming to it than you'd think. So maybe find representation in a space that you feel comfortable in and share what you bring to the table. Make yourself comfortable in spaces where you're seeing that diversity and practice already taking place instead of initially just trying to bring them to yours. Like, go dive into those communities because you already have alignment and your interest is in meditation and wellness practices, and those exist in diverse communities. So get seasoned is what I would say. Get out
Thank
there and
you.
see what's happening.
Thank you so
Sure.
much. And Yolanda, if you are on Slack, or if you could, if you know of any specific spaces in Spatial that you recommend I visit, I would greatly appreciate your wisdom on that. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Great question, Sarah. I see Trish.
Oh, this is awesome talk, Yolanda. I'm so excited to meet you. I'm actually doing a project for the Bronx, explore the Bronx with augmented reality. I would love to just like pick your brain like another time. I have so many questions. If that would be possible. I just followed you on LinkedIn. And I definitely align with what you're saying. My goals are you said it so eloquently. I align with you completely.
Awesome. Trish, that's a conversation I'm looking forward to. There's a lot of history in that area, and I'm excited to see what you're doing and see if there's something we can do to support you and even add some more Revere awesomeness to it. So I look forward to connecting. You did the right thing. LinkedIn's the greatest way. And then on Instagram, revere.xr is a great way to connect also.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Trish. I see a question in the chat. What's the line between creating a welcoming VR space and appropriation? I'm concerned about that line. That's from Sarah.
Kind of want some more context on specifically because there's a lot of ways we could go with that. Sarah, can you speak to that a little more?
You know what? I probably shouldn't have dropped that because I don't want to take away from other people's questions. I'll just say that I'm very active in another group called Educators in VR, and I'm part of their diversity team, and we talk about this a lot. And I stands with trees. You know, is I yeah, this is a big conversation. I'll just say that we have conversations about this, and it's a concern in the community about, like, for instance, in my space, I'm Buddhist, right? But let's say that in my mind, I want to try to reach a demographic that's different multiculturally from my own to introduce them to the practice of Buddhism. So in my mind, I think, great, I'm going to go look for, let's say, Black cultural symbols, right? This is something that maybe I'm thinking I'm going to do. So then I drop them in my world. So now someone in my group might challenge me and say, you know, you're appropriating that Black cultural icon. And so that's the line that I think is very important. And I do diversity work, and I just want to be very careful about that line. Does that help?
Yeah, and you're right. That's a much larger conversation. I will say intention is everything. We live in a world now where people are expected to have a certain baseline understanding of diversity and inclusion. And I would say that a lot of people have found great content for it, but really haven't grasped the pure concept of creating a sense of belonging. And so the intention does matter. And I think that if people are just looking for trendy words or buzzwords or symbols and using that to attract audiences, that does come across as very short-sighted, and most communities will feel like that intention wasn't pure. And so I think it's all about really understanding what it is you're trying to do. If it's just for advertising purposes, then we see a lot more of that kind of window dressing. Whereas if it really is about getting to learn and connect, I think there's more challenging, actionable steps that we can take. And I'm always open to having those conversations because I want to see people achieve a certain level of understanding in their own inclusive journey beyond just what people are posting or what's trending, that week.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thanks for the question, Sarah. And I liked what Paul had shared. Pay attention to your intention. Intentionality is so important. I see Anna Marie has her hand up. If you would like to unmute and ask a question.
Hi, Anna Marie.
Hi. Sorry. It wasn't as much asking a question. I was just thinking because I work with a group, I think Sarah and maybe Wendy might know them, but it's a Dakar Foundation, and it's very loosely, it's not really tightly branded and marketed, but they do work. Kevin Clark runs it, and he's tireless working with underrepresented youth. That's his total focus on that. And he has been working with me at CSUN and also with people at UCLA and other schools. He's really been harnessing the community college area in particular to help create a pipeline from them to apprenticeships, jobs, and 4-year full-on university education. So it's kind of interesting. He's done a lot of that, and he's absolutely wanting more work in immersive media and new media, and there might be some synergy there. This is I think this was one. He's made some inroads with Microsoft and AT&T and a couple of interesting places, and working with designers and others. So, I mean, that's what a lot of these students, we want to get that underrepresented group involved here. And I think it might be worthwhile to even do a meeting like this or summit and specifically invite some students and young people into it. That's the, and make connections with Kevin and people like, his group.
Yeah, that group sounds amazing. I love hearing about all the things that you guys are doing. I'm really interested in hearing about him. So if you could put his name in the chat,
Yeah,
I'd love to
I'll
follow
find
up.
that. And he's got some of my students have gotten paid apprenticeships and internships through his work, which has been really, wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll find what else I have. I think I put Dakar there already. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna Marie. I see Caroline, do you have your hand up?
I do, yeah. Great, amazing, just really inspiring, not just the message, but the approach. So I love that. Do you have any projects that you felt like really gave you that really describe the ethos of the company? And I'd love to hear more about that. I know we didn't get to see some of the slides or they weren't up before, but love to just hear highlights of some of your favorites of projects that you've worked with.
Absolutely. I think the things we're most excited about now are the things we're trying to bring to life. And that is creating immersive stories for communities that need their history to be accessible. And so finding gems and treasures in every city, I think, has been the most exciting realization, is that there really is history under a rock everywhere you look. So, we do have something that we're working on now, that we're working on finalizing the Jimi Hendrix experience. Really excited about collecting Mr. Quincy Jones' experience in this neighborhood. There's other music legacies that we really want to be able to preserve by telling their story and connecting it to geographic spaces. But I would say the exciting part for me is that since I'm not a developer or a coder, I'm not programming, the visions that I have are in my head, and working with my team to get them storyboarded out and going through the process and considering all the ways to honor that history and make it interactive is really the most exciting part of my journey. And we have more projects in the pipeline that are going to be coming out in the future. And I would just say, keep watching our Instagram page and our website so you can see more about these projects as they're all sort of being released in the future.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm particularly, I lived in New Mexico for 20 years and worked actually with some of the tribal communities. And I think that I think those stories are so, and obviously, as Tricia mentioned, all of us are on some other tribe's land because originally it was just that acknowledgement, that honoring of it. So very excited to keep following your work. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And even if people don't have questions or you just want to share around the concept of being unapologetic, I'm curious to see how that resonated with people. And I think that sometimes as women, we tend to apologize for a lot of things. And I love the idea of shedding that. And I want to know if that is something that's inspiring for others as well.
I see Paul, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Yolanda. This is excellent presentation. And so, when you come to Seattle, there's some people I need to introduce you to. I mean, you were born and raised in Seattle, but a lot of stuff is happening in Burien. There's a brother who owns the twins. They own Key Tech Labs, and they're getting ready to do like a punk electric festival, I think in August. And so, I could send you some stuff related to that. Me personally, though, I'm part of the Seattle filmmakers of the African diaspora. And so there's some stuff going on. Even today, we're going to talk about some projects that are coming down the line. So yeah, I'm trying again. I've been trying to reach you. So yeah, let's look up when you get to Seattle.
Thank you so much, Paul.
I love this. I'm loving all the connections, and you know, you have a wonderful XR women community here. This is amazing. I'm just conscious of the time. It's 12:57, and I'll probably have time for one more question, and then I'll invite, if we can keep it, you know, punchy, and invite everyone up after that question, after Yolanda has answered that question, to the stage so that we can do a group photo. So I think, Rohana, you had your hand up.
Hi. 2 degrees of separation. Yolanda, I'm so excited to hear your presentation today. I know we haven't been able to catch up yet. And to Dr. Jackson, Adam Powers and Key Tech Labs is one of my community partners working with our Title I schools in the Burien area. I worked there this year and moving over to Bellevue in the fall. But everyone in the Seattle area, or if you get to Seattle, please connect with us. We'd love to show you some of the great work that we're doing in after school programs to really build this talent pipeline for the largest untapped resource, which is our underrepresented youth and youth with neurodiversity. So thank you, Dr. Jackson, for bringing up Key Tech. They're amazing. And Yolanda, we look forward to having you at the come visit, and I'll put the link to the Burien Solar Punk Fest in the link so everybody can come join us. Blessings.
Cool.
That's
Awesome.
awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so loving this. I love the XR Women community specifically for, you know, engagements and interactions like this. You just never know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like your talk was inspiring for me, and I think I had typed on my other computer, embrace my genius. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I know I saw a comment in the chat about it's a Canadian thing. It's not just a Canadian thing. And me being Canadian, maybe I'm getting in my feelings for that. And you see how I'm trying to apologize there. But listen, no. Embrace my genius and unleash my wild and audacious ideas. I want to thank you again, Yolanda, for imparting such amazing energy, your insights. You're so passionate about what you do. We would love to have you back again, and obviously stay connected with us. And we're excited to see what Rivera XR is going to continue to do along with everybody else here. So thank you so much for sharing energy and space with us today.
No, thank you so much for having me and for coordinating this, Trisha. This is such an amazing community. I'm excited to connect with you all, both